no matter what I'm seeing from them, I don't see a team that's going to upend or usurp the Baltimore Ravens. That's really what it comes down to, and I don't believe that the wild card is coming from the AFC North. So that's where that notion comes from in terms of pretender status. I cannot say enough, and I'm looking for all the damn sorry you-know-what naysayers out there that was questioning Mike Tomlin, who's won about 65% of his games, and you got people looking at him talking about he's supposed to be on the hot seat. Excuse me, you won a game against the Chargers this year with a third-string quarterback. Okay, Ben Roethlisberger goes down.
Who just beat the Packers, by the way.
Mason Rudolph sits up there and gets concussed, all right? Devlin Hodges comes in there, wins the game, loses that particular game that Mason Rudolph got concussed, but comes back the next game against the Chargers. They handle their business. You start off 0-3. You've won 4 of your last 5. There is no Big Ben Roethlisberger. Le'Veon Bell is mired in purgatory playing for Adam Gase and the New York Jets. Antonio Brown has been exiled from football. We don't know when the hell he'll be back after the antics he engaged in. And still, you are the Pittsburgh Steelers, and look at you. You're better than Cleveland. Cincinnati is obviously just completely irrelevant. Yeah. You're not the Ravens, no question, but it takes the greatness of Lamar Jackson for you not to be the Ravens. I just can't say enough about the greatness of Mike Tomlin yet again, but the bottom line is this. When you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, while you give them their respect for being a 500 team and overcoming the obstacles that you have to overcome, in the end, you're going up against somebody. And in this particular instance, it's the Baltimore Ravens, who are real, and that is why I'm there.
I'm going to get to Tomlin in a second. Let me first say, no, they are contenders, even if they're not contenders to win the AFC North outright. The AFC West is no great shakes. Like, I don't know, the wild card could come out of the AFC North. Look at this schedule. They're at Browns, at Bengals. Then
who's schedule, Max?
Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Then they have the Browns at home. They're at Cardinals. Then they have the Bills, at Jets, and then at Baltimore, which, it's the rivalry game. So their schedule is pretty good. It's very good. It's a favorable schedule.
Yes.
And they could easily win the wild card. A 4-4 team right now in the AFC could come out of the North. Look, now I want to get to Tomlin. You know what? Is it Belichick or Brady? To me, that was answered years ago when Belichick went 11-5 with Matt Castle, who never did anything else, right? Is it Tomlin or Roethlisberger? I don't hear a lot. I have heard, Tomlin won with his predecessors' teams, right? Oh, no. Now we get the answer. Like Harbaugh, these two teams, the Steelers and the Ravens, always compete because they have great coaches. Like, everyone knows Belichick's in a category by himself. The question is, who's the second best coach in the NFL? Is it Tomlin? Is it Harbaugh? Is it Sean Payton? Is it Pete Carroll? Like, different flavors of coaches. But you know what's in common? Their teams compete year in and year out. The NBA, it's about the players. Major League Baseball, it's about the GM. That's what you really have to look at. In the NFL, more than anything else, it is your head coach. Look at this job Tomlin is doing. Before you get to the injury, he lost Le'Veon Bell for nothing. He lost AB for nothing. The premier running back / receiver, whatever you want to call Le'Veon Bell, and wideout in the NFL of their generation. And then his quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger, goes down. And then the backup goes down. And he's sitting at 4-4. That man that you're looking at right there is a great head football coach. So the Steelers are contenders.
I'm so proud to sit here and listen to this because you guys have said what I've always known when I played in Pittsburgh is that he was a great coach. I've never understood how a coach can take a team to the playoffs and still be on the hot seat, or even talking about losing his job, winning 65% of his games, and people want his head. For time and time again, I'd always hear, I want to see how good Big Ben is without AB and without Le'Veon. And this was supposed to be the year that we find that out. But what we found out is how good is Coach Tomlin coaching? Because Ben is gone, Le'Veon is gone, like you said, and AB is gone, and they're 4-4. I'm saying they're contenders because they have a favorable schedule, and that last game usually come down to who's going to make the best play. I remember Antonio Brown, when I played there, extending his hand across the line for Christmas and getting us into a playoff game, and Coach Tomlin was on the hot seat then. And I can't figure out how there's teams that don't even go 500. Like, his worst record is 8-8. It's 500. That's his worst record. And there's coaches out there that don't even sniff that are fine and not even on the hot seat.
Pat Shermer's lost.
I've never understood it.
Pat Shermer's lost more than twice as much as he's won. More than twice as much.
And he still has a job.
And he's got another
The thing
job.
about it is, for me,
I don't understand.
As much as I respect and have love for Mike Tomlin, where it really took a point, there's little things that you look at as a reporter when you're covering a team and you're out there and you watch and you look for certain things, particularly in the sport of basketball when people are walking away, walking off the court, walking back to a bench. You watch their mannerisms and their interactions with coaches and things of that nature. I remember in 2013 when the Pittsburgh Steelers started off 0-4. They started off 0-4, and I remember them walking off the field. I believe it was against Chicago, because the next game was against Minnesota, but it was against Chicago. And they started off at 0-3, and then they lost to Minnesota. And I remember them walking off the field, and Mike Tomlin was just walking. He said a word to anybody. He was just looking at guys, staring at them, looking into their eyes. And they asked him after the game. He said, "I want to see you quit. I want to see you quit. Because you ain't going to do that here." You see what I'm saying? And so when you see stuff like that, you got to appreciate it. You know why? Because when you turn around and you look at so many places around the NFL, you see a whole bunch of coaches that don't have no business being a head coach in the National Football League.
Absolutely.
They don't have any motivational skill sets whatsoever. They don't inspire. You know, they're not big on accountability. You know, they pass bucks. They clearly nepotism and things of that nature are the things that facilitate them getting the jobs. But then you see somebody like him, and you can understand why the Rooneys and everybody else had this interview and said, "This dude right here, we got to hire this dude. We had Chuck Noll, we had Bill Cowher, we had this guy." Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.